You can't see God except through me. Especially in starting. This is to those who are not Muslims. I know some doesn't care exactly. Then leave us alone, Middle East, and don't create reactions. But if you're not a Muslim, a perfect, accurate Muslim, you can't see God accurately except through me. Oh, the Muslim, they are fine. Muhammad, the final messenger, have explained everything. There is no God but Allah, indeed. Muhammad is the final messenger. Now, this is not the case. The case that if the Messiah mentioned in the Quran by Allah, through the final messenger Muhammad, and you don't like this Messiah, then you need to understand that your Messiah is the Antichrist. And the Eastern gate is the gate where the Antichrist would walk, but not while the so-called Israeli state is there. No. And through the time, all of those who will die working to empower his position on planet Earth will be in hellfire and pay a price. And those who work against this false Messiah will be granted a price in heaven. If you're an atheist, you're involved in this calculation. Even if you do not want to obey and understand that the creator of existence is there, and there will be a judgment day. And you need to make a choice. You need to make a choice. Now, listen. And you need to keep away from creating dark to others. Now, this Eastern gate, why it was shut? You need to understand that the Muslim, if they start recognizing from those who call themselves Christian, call themselves Israelite, who got nothing to do with the Israeli race and even nothing to do with the natives there, in the majority of them. Look at the First Crusade, you'll understand a lot. Because the so-called Christian in the region, Coptics and others, they are not the real threat. They are used, and some of them are worse from the Arabian right now. Why? Because the Arabian have chosen to be atheists, and among those atheists who try their best to look with justice and see who got the, you understand, because they don't believe in God. But there is darkness among those who are in the Middle East. Now, I have explained about this, and it needs explanation. It has its own examples. It's all a condition. The Messiah, when he returned back, he got nothing to do with the Messiah, the Antichrist, who you are expecting and waiting for and empowering. The trick, the code, do you know what is the code and the trick about it? The trick in the code. The trick, I don't know. The trick is not good because you will understand and misunderstand it. The code, Muhammad. That's it. Cult, ideology. The code is Muhammad. Okay, you want Islam, you want to be a Muslim, good, lovely. Please don't be like those so-called Shiites and those so-called Sufis and those who mention the names as Shafi'is and Malik and create all of this problem, especially in the Ishmaelian territory, and they helped you from the first place to do all of this destruction when you start assaulting Islam by accusing the Islam as a cause of terror and Daesh and things. They start saying, Wahhabist. It's a big topic. This is not a joke. I understand. So many will minimize what I'm saying. This is not the case here. The case is that I'm asking God the punishment of those enemies. And I have a personal case. And I'm explaining the truth. And this is all connected to each other. So if a so-called Hindu coming to us and he have his own Messiah and he starts relating his Antichrist Messiah to the Torah, or another so-called Hindu or so-called Buddhist, for example, with due my respect to the nice, wonderful people who call themselves Hindus or Buddhists, okay? I'm just giving an example because this is big groups on planet Earth. Or those who call themselves Hindus or Buddhists coming and relating their Messiah to the Messiah mentioned in the Injil, and at the same time, he's the Antichrist. If I am a Khalifa or a Sultan looking at those crazy nuts, and at the same time, while I'm looking, they are catching the gates and screaming like the so-called Shiite in wars right now, and stabbing themselves for the cross and waiting for him. When will you come? When they drink, and some of them maybe will behead children to wait for the Messiah and things like that. And the Israelite, when they walked, Moses, peace, you're a guy. You got nothing to do with the real Israelis. Either when they lived there, or when some of them were captives to the Babylon, or some of them when they returned, and when some of them at the time before the captivity ran to the Ishmaelian and stayed there, or some of them when they ran away from the Roman when they attacked. You got nothing to do with the real Israelis. Nothing to do with the favored people. Nothing to do with the instruction of God and what is the meaning of being Yahudian. Nothing. You're guys. Wake up. So there was a lot of nonsense, shirkiyat, taghut, magic, unbelievable. Imagine, so what are you doing in this gate? You know what? Close it. When the Messiah would come, God will grant him. We don't need to open a gate and, will you come? Will you come? God doesn't want you to worship him and waiting for him. Even at the time of Daniel, there will be a Messiah will come at us. There was a lot of explaining that the stage of the Israelites being favored and finished will be coming. And they said, we want this Messiah to be while we are favored. And God granted them this. And they said, we understand that the Messiah, when he come, he will destroy all darkness and will empower the people of light. And who more light than us, the favored to preach? This is the collapse of the devil, and the wild beast starts showing himself. And the Talmud was created in the 8th century by the Goys, who insisted not to see the truth. Many things, you need to look at many things and to see how the manipulation, corruption, deceiving process of the devil is working to create atheists, to empower the so-called Hindus, so-called Buddhists. The corruption happened even thousands before in India, and what's happening right now. Many things, you look at it. Many things, you need to watch everything. You need to study everything to, at the end, give a calculation. Not, I am X, I am Z, I am Y, and you're attacking the people of right, righteousness, and light. The Messiah came, they didn't accept him. Why he have no father? Because all of them said, he will be from our bloodline. For example, we are the Mubarak family. If any speaking Arabic as a mother tongue trying to mess with me, may he be destroyed. Al-Mubarak family, which I am coming. There is Al-Adil family. I am from Al-Adil. And there is Al-Ammash family. And there is from As-Sultan family. And there is others. And there is Al-Jaddud. Different from Al-Mubarak. Mubarak is a man. He was the biggest Sheikh Shuyukh of the bigger tribes. They got Shuyukhs in Al-Manabha. No. Each one of us, and this is not about us, I'm just giving an example. You can go to the Royal Monarch here in England, or any place. Of course, for me, the Monarch, who I respect here in England greatly, and when it's come to the bloodline, they are nothing comparing to me. Zero, nothing. Of course, Saud House, Al Gulf, Saud House and Al Maktoum, they are nothing. But this is the change. This is the change. For certain rule, we are all human. We are all equal to each another. But for certain understanding to the case, I don't want to explain this anymore. I know this is not from God. This is my personal opinion, relying on facts that got nothing to do with religion. So these families, each in the Israelites, start saying, for example, they are a little bit bigger. It is like tribes, families, like you can go to tribes. Each of these tribes start saying, we are expecting the Messiah, and the Messiah is definitely going to be one of ours. This is how it is. Those are the guys need not to put their nose in the real Israelis issue, though it has something to do with religion. The so-called Christian need to listen to the Israelite and the Muslims and the real Christian when they explain about the true Messiah, the Son of Virgin Mary. Because we have problem with many groups, sometimes you are worse tens times of the so-called Hindus and the so-called Buddhists, and the atheist is different. Respect to the people of conscience and respectable people, good people all over the world. So they were expecting the Messiah. Each one said his birth will be in our family. And all of a sudden, this wonderful, from a blessed family, virgin, never married, Mary, came and she said, I'm pregnant. An angel came to me and said, the Messiah will be your son. And all of them said, come on now. It should be my son. So they are now saying, the Jewish people, the guys, must be descendant from a Jewish mother. If his mother is not Jewish, then he is not Jew. This is rubbish. It's I can track it until at the time of captivity among the guys here and there, and how they have adopted some things here and there. I don't want to go to some certain This is nonsense. Got nothing. It's always about the father. No, this is not a disrespect to the mothers. Not a disrespect to the mothers. They said even at that time, look, George Henry VIII, the father is behind his sperm, a boy or a girl. They always blamed the woman. وَوَالِدٍ وَمَا وَلَدٍ. The verses of Quran. Now, regardless, the child is decided by the sperm of his father. This is another topic. See, I'm going to talk. I'm returning back. So the Messiah. Okay, and they didn't accept it. Few accepted him among the Israelis, and there were some also guys here and there, Gentile, pilgrims and things like that. So this explains everything. It's a whole group of information that explain everything. The Eastern Gate shouldn't be. There should be no magic. Yes. Do you see the so-called Shiite in their worst, not all of them, in their worst shapes of worshipping attitude, slashing blood and fire, putting fire, and expecting, oh, I saw Hussein, oh, I see him, he's coming, and all of this exaggeration. That Hussein talked to that, and the horse talked, and he walked, and then he moved while he's dying, and they talked his. Peace be upon him, Hussein. Exactly, there is this exaggeration, and more happened in the city, the secret by the so-called Christian and the guys who gave him visit. And creep things happened to Europe since the time of First Crusade and before it and after. Some people, Tariq, you're a liar. Some people will say this. Look at us right now. We are not doing this. There is hidden things, first of all, and second things, of course, because it's a result of secularism and atheism. Of course. The laws of secularism and atheism is preventing the dark side, the real dark side of the so-called Hinduism. The secularism and atheism that's ruling in Europe is a result of revolting against the church, revolting against the monarchs, and all of this deceiving lies about the Holy Ghost and the Messiah and all sickness will be healed by whatever, and beheading children and things like that, and the Talmud at the 8th century about the God and things like that. So of course in Jerusalem, the so-called Israeli is an atheist secular country. It's a Jewish state. This is the contradiction. See, you are choosing hellfire, the oven, and still, Muhammad, no, terror. Beheading human like sheep. This has nothing to do with Islam. It's a reaction, and you can understand. I'm trying to explain to you 1 out of 1,000 of the problems, of the anger, of the assaults and criticism that even me and others dealing with in the Ishmaelian territory by you. So if you're angry with my explanation, since 1 out of 1,000, except with one different. It was lies and it was disgusting assaults against us I have dealt with. But what I am saying about you is absolute the facts, absolute the truth. I'm not oppressor. I'm not persecuting you by lies. I'm saying the truth about you. But when I was there at 2000, 2005, 2010 until 2015, for these 15 years, I have dealt with a lot of lies, a lot of persecution based on lies, a lot of do you understand me? This is different. But just taste 1 out of 1,000 of what we're dealing with. Now I return back. So the Eastern Gate right now is closed. May Allah bless them, those who closed it. It have nothing to do with the worship. Have nothing to do with worship and Allah. Got nothing. So that you won't mess around and bring inappropriate thing at that time. Someone would say, why Islam did not stop this extreme sides of darkness among these groups. That's why the gate is closed. That's why some temple was destroyed in India. That's why there was jizya. That's why no preaching for the Muslim. You can preach among yourself. You're a so-called Hindu. You don't preach to Muslim about your so-called Hindu. Preach to the so-called Buddhist. You're a so-called Israelite. You someone calling yourself Jew doesn't believe in them. You don't come to the Muslim. The Muslim recognize him as the Messiah and wait with him for him, not by worshipping him. They understand he's part of the divine plan. They are worshipping Allah. They will see him in the heaven in paradise. If you're a so-called Christian having the Roman cross, don't come and lie to me about this Antichrist and things like that, you are more than welcome. We will call you the people of book. There is something there is similarity between you and us. The name of Allah, Ismailullah, Israelullah, talking about Moses, talking about the real Israelis, talking about the Messiah, talking about Noah, talking about the 6th day, talking about the creator of existence. We understand. Understand everything, please, especially those who are around in the Holy Land. This is your choice in this planet, either to be in heaven or in hellfire, either to participate in creating tribulation, dark, or to bring light in the human spirit liberation. There is no liberation except liberating ourselves from the darkness and sin to see salvation of God and to achieve His satisfaction. Thank you.